In 2014, our goal was to educate and inspire the next generation of young Black leaders. Today, we are in search of the best to reveal the secrets to success. Our belief is that we should teach the young early the things that we learn late. Our lives are shifting the culture. Our lives are changing the narrative. These are the ShineHard conversations. Welcome back to a season 5 episode of ShineHard Conversations. I'm your host, Johnny Bailey, and this week I'm in Brooklyn, New York with my man, the co-founder of Driven Society, Travis Weeks.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you having me on.
For sure. Travis is a curator, an innovator here in New York. He works with Black millennials, Black creatives. He has also partnered with HBO Latino Film Festival. He's done things with the Reserve Business Expo, and he's also co-host of the Driven Society podcast. Today, Trav is gonna drop some gems about how he got to where he is today, what it means to start a movement in New York City, and share some keys to his personal success. So, without further ado, Trav, it's time to shine. So, let's dive into it. One thing that's very important for me, especially on this show, is like understanding where these leaders began and how our childhood affected us in our trajectory. Mm-hmm. So can you talk a little bit more about what growing up was like for you?
Yeah, definitely. I'm originally from Brooklyn. Lived there till I was about, I think like 7 or 8. Moved to Barbados, and I was raised at that point with my grandparents. My grandfather to this day has like the most influence ever in my life. He was a carpenter, a preacher, a musician, a plumber. My grandfather was ill, man.
Renaissance man.
Complete Renaissance man. You know what I mean? He drove my grandma crazy, but couldn't deny how great of a man he was, how a man of a people he was, the generous heart he had. And just watching that and being around that, it was definitely instilled in me, you know?
So what did you want to be when you grew up?
Man, at that point, I don't think I quite knew. At one point, to be honest, I wanted to be a preacher. When I was it's crazy, right?
Pastor Weeks.
It's crazy. Like I really wanted to be. I remember I used to be in the mirror preaching. I don't even know what I'm saying.
Were you like heavy in the church when you were growing up?
When I was in Barbados, my grandfather like made sure he was in church every Sunday, Wednesday. Like every morning we had to wake up and pray. So at that point, it shaped my moral compass. But when I moved back to New York and then Jersey, which I spent, the latter teenage years of my life. Shout out to Jersey. It transitioned a little bit. You know, I started getting more into business. I wanted to make money. So I really wanted to be a businessman. I wanted to be in real estate. I wanted to be, at that point, I really wanted to be a real estate mogul. I had aspirations to be in like, the entertainment space. I thought that was like just cool. But I wanted to come at it from another direction. I wanted to build that wealth through real estate. But shortly after that changed as well.
So I guess you had all these ideas about business and about what you wanted to do to make money. Mm-hmm. When did you decide like entrepreneurship was the path?
Oh man.
I mean, did you figure that out in school and college? Like what was that transition?
Right. So it's interesting enough, after high school, I was like, I'm gonna just go back to New York and be a real estate agent. Like, that's where the money's at.
Yeah.
So I was doing real estate in New York. This was around 2007, 8. And that's when like actually the bubble burst.
Listen.
Shit was bad.
I came out of college in 2008. It was.
You know what I mean? Like it wasn't cool. What I found out through that process at that point, it was just like, I just wasn't enjoying myself. I just wasn't having fun. Making money was good, and then I was like, I knew I bought the car I wanted. It was this apartment in Jersey that was super fly. That had like a golf course in the back and shit. I was like, yo, I'm about to live in there, And I realized like I'm legit gonna be working just to maintain these things, just to like, just to say I'm here or be like have these material things, and it really wasn't doing anything for my soul.
It was
like
empty.
Yeah, it was empty. Like it didn't do anything for me past that. You know what I mean? Like, and as I evolved as a person, I'm like, nah, like this is my life. This is the life I'm gonna live. If work is such a major part of my life, I gotta center myself and find a place, a space that, you know, I can enjoy, that, you know, that I love.
Bro, it's so important to do what you love.
Yeah,
and just by doing what you love, you inspire and awaken the hearts of others.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You're an inspiration just by doing what you're meant to do. I think that's so paramount that you had that revelation early in your life.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Coming from the real estate, you were empty, weren't feeling it. What was your next move to get to where you are
transition, now? Right. At that point, I think the website game was popping, the blog game.
So what, you were building websites, or you just created your own?
I wanted to create my own. I think it was websites like Two Dope Boys popping at that time, Real Talk NY. I'm like, yo, and I saw how these guys are monetizing, and I was like, I always had a deep passion and love for music. Like, I knew that my element was where I felt the most alive is when I'm bringing people together. In whatever space, the epicenter of it has to be bringing people together like minds to exchange positive energy, to build each other. It started in music, right? So I started doing these music showcases. I built the website, started highlighting these up and coming artists, giving them features. Me and my partner, Franz Bowen, we started doing that. That was like really cool. And then we did a Christmas show at Jerome, Lower East Side, where we brought the artists that we featured on the website to come out and perform. And I was like, I love this. Life. Yeah, I brought it to life pretty much. I was like, I loved it. Cause I didn't really like writing too much on the website. Like I could do it, but it wasn't really my thing. But when I did the Christmas show, I'm like, ooh, I like this. You know what I mean? And I think something crazy happened in the Christmas show too. I think like a pipe burst and like it flooded halfway through or some shit. And I was tight, but the venue was like, hey, we're sorry, we want to give you the next 2 dates like for like a crazy like rate. Like they just do it. So I'm like, you know what, let's try this out. The year after that, we produced like 10 showcases in a year, and we had like emerging artists from like, at that point, Tangina Stone, who's doing her thing right now. We had Elite came on. Elite is, he just produced J. Cole's last album.
You tapped into talent.
Absolutely.
And then you were kind of awakened, like, okay, this is my thing, I can do this.
Yeah, just giving that platform, giving that tool, that resource for people to come together and get to the next level. That's how Driven Society was born, but it was born in music. And at that time, there was so many dope creators around us that are doing amazing things today.
Talk more about Driven Society. How did Driven Society get started?
Yeah, so from that space, I'm like, I remember it was all about, what I was gonna start was all about bringing people together, driven, just focused, dope people together. So I'm like, driven is a word. I'm like, driven minds? I'm like, yeah, we driven minds. I'm like, let me go find a domain name, let me buy it. The domain name was already purchased, and I hit up the person to buy it. He was like, $500. I ain't have $500.
It's not that bad.
Not that bad, right? But I was like, I ain't have $500 to spend on that. At that moment, I'm like, you know what I mean? I could have did it, but I was like, you know what? Nah, like, let me come with another
There's so many free domains, and I'm gonna try my hand with something else.
Right, exactly. It was like, I was early, you know what I mean? So I'm like, driven. I remember I was in the car with my man. He was just like, you got it, you come up with it. And my boy Jeff, shout out to Jeff. Driven. I was like, Driven Society just came to me. Went on GoDaddy, bought it, and the website was started, and the showcases started, and now we have a community building in music for artists, creatives come to support each other, building that platform for emerging artists to get to the next level. We're bringing in, some label folks that I've networked with. Found some artists there, artists found creative directors there, found people to link with and build with there, and we loved it.
So Driven Society is kind of focused on artists and musicians.
Right, at that point it did. As I evolved as a person, the brand evolved. We pivoted. Right now, Driven Society is an agency that provides content, events, and campaigns that deeply inspire and influence multicultural millennials. We also have an educational organization division that provides panels, information, and tools for our community to develop themselves.
Nice. So what year did you guys get started?
That was 2014.
Nice. Yeah. Same year that ShineHard started.
There you go.
So in those 4 or 5 years, what's one thing that you wish you knew when you started?
I wish I knew how important it would be to learn all the little details that came with the business, the little details that came with event production and designing campaigns. I was always the visionary, so I always had the big ideas, the big campaigns. I could visualize it, like here it goes. But then the little details, some little details I would miss because the bigger picture.
Right,
is
all
there.
the steps that it takes to create that big vision.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and to put as much care as you have in that vision that's so beautiful, put as much care in those little steps. It's that important. Like people can feel that. People can feel the care, the love you put in your events, the love you put in your content. That is what I think early on I didn't quite miss because I wanted just to create a splash.
Yeah.
But as I evolved, I learned that and integrated that into my stuff.
Do you have any mentors that helped you along the way?
Yeah, throughout the time, I've definitely had different mentors. Anastasia Wright, founder of IMG Records, and Minds Behind the Music nonprofit. I remember I ran up on her at a conference she was doing with a vice VP over at Rock Nation. And she just took a liking to me and we just kept building. Like she would just give me, a lot of great information. What she would do with artists and how she would work with brands, I'm like, wow, that's dope. I want to do that too. You know what I mean? And I'm like, how do you work with brands? And she would just like show me how it should look, like how it should look aesthetically, how you build a community. Like my origins in building community, she definitely helped a lot with that.
So this organization is all about closing the racial wealth gap, and I feel like that's accomplished through mentorship, financial literacy, and collaboration.
Absolutely.
And I'm extremely excited about the word passion. And passion, I think passion changes everything. Once you determine what your passion is and you start focusing on that and working in that space, then you'll find your purpose. And you clearly are walking in your purpose. So the question I have for you is, what would you say is your passion? And when did you know?
Yeah, my passion is in the art of building and designing community. I knew that actually at a early age because when I did go to events or when I did start first putting initial events together, it was like a high I got that I've never gotten from anything else. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It was just like a feeling I got where I just knew I'm in my element. Everybody knows when they're element. Michael Jordan knows when he's in the zone. You know when you doing your thing in DC, I'm like, yo, I'm in my zone right now.
When I'm moderating a panel, that to me is like my zone.
Exactly.
What's unique about you that I noticed is that you are behind the scenes. Like you're making plays that people don't even really know you're making.
Yeah.
When a lot of people in today's age want to be in the forefront. They want to say, yeah, this is my event, this is my thing. Why is it that you are so comfortable with making things happen on the low? Like what is it?
I think we are in a space where, everybody does want to shine. Everybody has that. I read a book called Ego is the Enemy, actually that my man Jonathan Jackson recommended for me a couple of years back, and it kind of like changed my life. And I realized that, you also got to study your sweet spots in life. Like God gives you and shows you, the different spaces that, you shine in. There's different spaces that you're able to provide the most value in. Right. And I've always been able to provide the most value and be able to be as effective as when I'm providing the platform. Yes, there's gonna be opportunities where I take that platform for myself to, to deliver my message, but when I'm powering the people that I deem as, as special or community leaders or as like cultural trailblazers, when I'm empowering them and I'm giving them the platform to shine, that collaboration gives the best product. You know what I mean? Because I'm amplifying their strength. I'm able to look at somebody and be like, yo, this person does this greater than I can ever do it. You know what I mean? Like this person designs way better. I know where I'm the man at. I know the spaces where I'm at, but I can look at artists, I can look at creatives, I can look at speakers, writers, and be like, yo, you are dope. There's something about you that resonates with the people. You need the platform to stand out. Like Quincy Jones, you know what I mean? Quincy Jones saw it in Will Smith, he saw it in Michael before anybody did.
Yeah, I like Jimmy Iovine a lot too.
Jimmy Iovine is another one. Steve Stout is another one. Yeah. You know what I mean? All these guys in the space that, they know their place. And they've been extremely successful
and they've elevated on the backs of the people that they've
exactly. I wouldn't even say on the backs. I would even say more. It's like they've elevated with them. You know what I mean? Like it's a collaborative process. You know what I'm saying? Like
there's two types of people in the curation spaces: the people who influence the masses, and the people who influence the people who influence the masses. And
so real. People who influence the influencers. Like there's so many people in the space that I always say people don't even know that like are extremely popular. That hit me up when they gotta move. I'm like, yo, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? Should I boom, boom, boom? Yeah. That's happened to me countless times. I don't even speak about these conversations or how deep our relationships are, because there's no point, you know what I mean?
Nobody will ever understand the text messages that we're having behind the scenes.
They don't, you know what I mean? And I know you know, bro, you know what I mean? Like, they don't know, but my job is just to help them amplify their mission simultaneously.
But what's been the biggest challenge for you trying to amplify the voices of our community, or just trying to build a brand?
The biggest challenge is definitely looking for the most effective ways to monetize, right? Like, you get a point where you design a community or whatnot, you know, of course you want to make money, you want to be able to, you know, feed yourself and feed your team, but at the same time, you want to provide opportunities for the community to absorb this, to be a part of this without, like, you know, killing their pockets as well. Finding different creative ways to monetize, different creative ways that make sense for the brand has been tricky. And it took a little while to figure out, because I think every brand comes at a crossroad where they know they can take a lot of money to do something that may dilute your brand, that may, you know, just make your brand seem, you know, not as dope as it could be. It may just take away some, you know, authenticity of the brand because you're doing it for a check. You know what I mean? Many people, you know, you can see, like, you can even see it with artists. Let's say like an artist that does a Marlboro commercial, and you're like, damn, but you know, just
Marlboro wants to give you $1 million to promote their campaign.
Yeah, you're not even a smoker. You know what I mean? And your artist is doing it for the check. You can tell, like, it's some, like, you know, you lose some authenticity there. It dilutes your brand or who you are. You know what I mean?
Have you been faced with that challenge of someone offering you a bag and you're like,
Absolutely. I remember when we was doing showcases, there was some artists that I necessarily didn't like feel at the time, where I felt like they weren't that dedicated to their craft. When we had a business model of like setting up, you know, certain packages that offer you this for, you know, being a part of the, you know, the space, for being a performer, we offer you this. It was just like, I don't want to take the money. You may have all the money to give me to put you on this platform. I don't want to take it. Even certain brands that may want to sponsor that are not aligned with our mission, or not aligned with our goal, it doesn't, you know, and it doesn't resonate with my community, I'd say no to that, because, you know, I don't want to dilute this brand. I don't want to dilute what we stand for.
So have you taken the time with your team to like set the values of your organization, to know like what we will, what we won't do?
Absolutely, absolutely. What's ill about my team is that I think we kind of know. It's like unspoken understanding that we know the quality that we have to put out. We know the value we're trying to offer to our community. And, you know, it's like they understand. They know when it comes to DS that we move a certain way. You know what I mean? We're a unit. We move a certain way. We have to present in a certain way, and they know that's the first priority.
Yeah. So we have a ton of like millennials, Gen Zers, and even like seasoned professionals that watch this show, and they're trying to figure out how to navigate into the culture creating space. How do I create a movement? How do I create a driven society? What advice would you give to the next generation on how to do what you're doing?
Tap into culture and take the things in culture that apply directly to what your mission is. Like, if your mission is about, if you're trying to start a movement and your movement is based in, I don't know, organic product, find who in the culture is making moves that have a love or a connection to organic products. You're gonna find somewhere in their content that they put out where they're gonna speak about it, where they're gonna touch on it, get that, either engage with them or find a way to make that content. Find a way to aesthetically display that through your social channels. So a lot of the times, the community that looking up to these folks are like, oh shit, I didn't know, you know, freaking Kalani was vegan. You know what I mean? That's dope. You know what I mean? Like, maybe I should get some organic products too. Oh, this product telling me that Kalani is vegan. Now, like, find a reference point in culture that represents your brand, that is aligned, that you can relay that message through. You know what I mean? And there's ways to do that. Start conversations, whether it be, you know, a podcast or whether it be content you're building. Your goal is to design a community around your business. That's the first step. Design a community. The community would then follow you. The community would then expand and give tools and, you know, perks to this community that you've created.
Add value.
Add value, exactly.
Nice. Hey man, it's been a great talk.
Absolutely.
I'm really proud of what you're doing here in New York.
Thank you, man.
I'm glad that we are in the same network.
Absolutely.
Glad to call you a friend, a person in my circle of influence.
Yes, sir.
I look forward to seeing what you have coming up next.
Thank you, man.
So let the people know how they can find you.
Yeah.
Anything that you want to plug in.
Indeed. You can find me at Trav_Weeks, WEEKES, on your Instagrams and the internets, and DrivenSociety.com. Check out the brand. Subscribe on the website. Follow us at Driven Society, DRIVENSOCIETY. And yeah, check us out. And if you come to an event, listen to our podcast, be a part of this movement, be a part of this, this group that we're really pushing to change culture, change entrepreneurship, just add value.
You guys can follow me at @1JohnnyBailey. Also follow the ShineHard movement at ShineHardFam. Also visit ShineHardFamily.org. Our mission is to close the racial wealth gap through mentorship, through economic empowerment, and collaboration. We're all about bringing dope influencers to the community to give you information and to help you sit right here in this chair. So check out the website. If you want to donate, you want to get involved, all the information is there on the website. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can do that right here. And yeah, guys, I'll see you next week. Passion changes everything. Salute. Trav. Thank you, bro.
Appreciate you, brother.